Sure. Just order me around, tell me what to do, make me island representative, and that means I've got to do all the hard work, and I have to do this and do that, and build my house, and build the shop, and I have to, why is there a dead seagull on my beach? What is happening? Calm. Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Chris. It is wonderful to see you this morning. Again, I am talking relatively quietly because it is 5 minutes to 9 in the morning and my husband is still sleeping because it is once again the weekend, and unfortunately it is once again a weekend where I work. But anyway, welcome to autumn. Again, this is going to be a autumn castle town, but as you saw from the very beginning of this intro, I am on a different map layout. I finished the last build, the last entrance, and I was running around thinking about it, running in circles. I was like, you know what? I don't like this. I do like the entrance. I did really like it. I was proud of it, but I don't like the map. I didn't like where everything, for resident services and the airport were. So I was like, you know what? We're just going to go ahead and we're going to check it and we're going to start again. And that's what we did. So literally right after I finished that video, I sat down in my chair and I was eating a snack thinking about it. And I was like, let's just restart. Let's just do it. So I went ahead and I restarted. I'm going to show you guys my map here right now so you can kind of see what we are working with. As you can see, everything is in very different places, although resident services is still kind of in the center where it was on the last map, but the airport is way off to the left, which is more along the lines of what I wanted. The river mouse are in very different spots, which I like. I usually tend to grab maps with two south-facing rivers because that tends to have resident services in the airport more lined up. But since I didn't want them lined up this time, I had a little bit more, not really freedom, I guess, with the map, but I had a whole heck of a lot more options. So this is the one I went with, and my villagers right now are Deirdre and Sterling. They were my starters. Deirdre's not staying. Sterling, I've gone back and forth. I mean, a knight would fit on a autumn castle town, but his color scheme, I don't think I'm going to end up keeping him. He does look very hilarious when he's wearing sunglasses, though. It is quite funny because they sit on his beak and do not cover his eyes at all. But Maple is staying. She just moved on. She took Eugene's place. Eugene was my smug autofill. I was very glad to see him go. Jeremiah, he is so adorable, but he just unfortunately does not fit the color scheme, so he is not going to stay. Marshall and Poppy were both the two plots that I sold right after I was able to, so they moved in. They will be staying. Mitzi, again, she's very adorable, but she's not staying. She was one of my 3 plots, and for the jump scare was Tammy. She was my other autofill on my 3 plots, and when I first saw the sign out front, I was like, oh cool, cute, the bear cub, we got really lucky with villagers. No, when she moved in, I about jumped out of my skin. I was like, great, it's a lemur. It's a lemur. Her tail matches Zabu's from Zaboomafoo though, so I guess, she kind of gets a pass for that, but she's not staying. But as you can see, everything has been flattened. I still have that bridge I need to get rid of, which I will get there. I'm actually going to go ahead and do that right now because I still have some things I need to get for my entrance build. So for my entrance, as you can see, we've got tons of room. I'm going to stay on the map right now while I talk. But I am thinking a train station. Now, I am still going to do the Market Street that I mentioned that I wanted to do in my last entrance video, but that's not going to be the initial part of the entrance. It's going to be part of it, but it's not going to be the first thing you walk into. So the first thing you walk into, and I'm taking inspiration from Tay's Crossing most recent video on her superhero island metropolis. I swear to goodness, remember to tag her down below, and I mentioned Cozy Dahlia last time and I forgot, so I will remember to tag her down below. I'm going to make a note of this as soon as I stop recording. But anyway, so we are going to do like an underground train station, think King's Cross, for lack of a better analogy or a better mental picture. Just something big and grand, lots of pillars, castle items, ticket windows, the train tracks, that sort of thing. And that will lead you up into the Market Street, which is going to overlook a flower garden, which is going to have lots of orange and black, potentially purple. I don't know about green. I haven't really seen if green's going to match my color scheme yet, but maybe some green. But lots of flowers, lots of statues, a couple gazebos, fountains, that sort of thing. Kind of like a really big, elegant space. So that is what we are going to work on today. And on that note, I am going to let you guys go and enjoy the video, which I am recording this in the morning, but I unfortunately cannot start recording the actual entrance yet because it is sadly my Saturday to work, which means I have to work at noon. So I'm going to use the next couple hours. It's 9 o'clock now. I'm going to use the next couple hours and just gather the rest of the items that I need. I'm going to eat some lunch. And I am unfortunately going to go to work. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. A surprise to no one, I do not have goodbye yet. I need to get those reactions from the ABD if they are up. But I'm going to leave you guys with a greeting for now. And I will see you guys at the outro. Enjoy!
Alright, and here we go. We are at the entrance of autumn, and we are going to go ahead and get to building our train station. I apologize for this kind of going at a faster speed than my past couple videos have been. I tried it at just regular ×2 speed, and it was still almost an hour long, and I was going on very long tangents when I was first trying to record this voiceover. So I went ahead and sped it up again, just so that way hopefully I don't do that. As you can see, we are pulling out castle gates and medieval building sides. The gates, of course, are obviously going to be the tunnels that our trains go through, and then, as they state in their name, the medieval building sides are going to be the building sides. I considered using the castle walls just because of how well the tops of them match up with the castle gates, but I really like the roof on the medieval building sides, so that's why I went ahead and used those. Just checking out to make sure everything lines up, and then we're going to do this to the other side when, I have to go back and get more stuff out of my inventory because I did not count exactly how many medieval building sites I would need. It's times like this where I kind of wish I had a modded Switch only for one mod, and that is just to have stuff, once it's in my inventory, the leaf never goes away, and I can just keep clicking on it, and it would save me trips to my inventory. But that is probably not something I am going to do. And like I said, back to the inventory again. Now we are pulling out some more medieval building sides, decorative pillars, because I'm going to start working on what is going to be the ticket windows for our train station. I was thinking I was going to have it be like the back part of the building where it was going to be behind the main walls. But with the way the medieval building sides stand up against each other, as you can see with that open corner, it just wasn't going to work. That I know would have bothered me to no end. And knowing when I was building this that I was going to go in and add a second layer with more medieval building sides, I would not have been able to put in trees to be able to cover that. So I was like, that's not going to work. We're not going to do it. But I did leave room for some inclines that I will put in later. But looking over this, I like this a whole heck of a lot better. So now we are going to go in and grab our wide display stands, and we are going to get started on the ticket booth. So of course I only grabbed the wide display stands first for some reason. I don't know why I didn't grab the simple panels at the same time, but I did not. And as you can see, I'm kicking away the pathing because, like I said, I'm going to bring it forward and kind of mesh it with the rest of the building, I guess you could say, and just make it part of the back wall, which I feel fits in a lot better in the final product. But I'm going to go ahead and just let you guys listen to some music and watch me struggle, because I am always driving the struggle bus. And I will be back in just a little bit. I finally found something that I liked. I really like those two codes that I have on these sides from the ticket windows for, departures and arrivals and all that stuff. I went ahead with the plant partitions just to kind of block off the double code a little bit. I know in real life you wouldn't have that, but that was the best thing I could come up with at the time. And then I flipped around the wide display stands, not for any reason other than the poster on the back just drives me absolutely crazy. I wish there was a customization for it to just be not there, but I didn't want it to show off with people's cameras depending on how they have their camera, so I went ahead and just flipped those around. And then we are putting in simple panels that are customized with black. My Nook phone was driving me crazy, so I went ahead and grabbed those Nook miles so it would stop beeping at me. But the simple panels were just so I could really drive home the point that this is supposed to be underground. They do not end up staying. They end up coming out because with the terraforming along the back that I'm going to do later, it wasn't going to work out with the way I wanted the building, so they stay for now, but they are gone by the time you guys will get to the outro. They will be gone. And then I am customizing my crosswalk signals that I'm going to use on the end of the train tracks to signal, trains to stop and trains to go. Only customized 4 for that because I originally started with 1 on either end of both tracks. I do eventually go back and remove 1 just because I feel like the trains are only going to be going one direction on the platforms. And then I leave 2 with the pedestrian crosswalks because, of course, obviously you want, to know that it's safe to go ahead and walk when you are going to and from the airport. And then I decided I had them the wrong way for me personally, so I went ahead and switched that around. And this is what we have so far. And then, of course, adding in the plate armor. This is a castle town. There's going to be, plate armor and knights everywhere, keeping everything safe. I think in total for this build, I ended up using 6. Just 4 right here. And then back to the storage to get more stuff. banners to kind of make it feel a little bit more big and grand. I wanted to do something with them with the plain party lights archways being on either side so people would have something to walk through, but unfortunately the space that I kind of marked out for this just wasn't big enough, so that is an idea that kind of has to be put on ice for a different island. I don't know if I will borrow that idea for my Christmas island or anything like that. I am already thinking about my Christmas island, and I will talk about that more in my next video. Not going to worry about that too much right now, but as you can see, we are just customizing some street lamps with banners. I absolutely love this little lantern design. I found a bunch of them, and I was originally going to go one with just kind of like the normal like yellow type lantern color, but I feel like the orange just, it blended a whole heck of a lot better and it looks a lot better, so that is what I went with. Keep some semblance of having an idea. As you can see, I almost, stopped my app and took my helmet off. I ended up leaving it on, even though I don't do any terraforming until later. And these transitions for the crafting and the customizing actually came out much smoother than I was planning on, other than Marshall, not being there and then popping in. But this was an idea I was hoping to have work. I was going to put something like an evergreen ash in between 4 benches. Again, just didn't have the room for it. So we went ahead with 2 on either side and then just kind of spread the other 4 around. Since I made 8, I was like, they're not going to go to waste. I'm going to go ahead and use them. So now people have places to sit while they are waiting for their trains to arrive, or, they've just gotten off their train and they're trying to get used to being on non-moving ground again. Using the camera to check and make sure everything is where I want it, and pushing those out of the way some because I'm going to clean out my inventory first because, ADHD. Grab simple panels and then some plain party lights archways, the red leaf piles, yellow leaf piles, steel trash cans, and the foam boxes, and then an angled sign post. And that angled sign post is pointing, of course, and is customized for resident services. did not have any scattered papers. I'm pretty sure I have them in the outros and the screenshots, so you guys will be able to see them. But I did not feel like going to a treasure island and getting any, so I just worked without them and went with the leaf piles and left it at that. Trash cans on one side, phone booths on the other. I honestly have never actually been inside a train station. I rode the DC Metro when I was, an early 20s when my family went to DC, but I don't remember seeing phone booths or anything, but I just thought they fit. Or if I'm going to try and do something with standees and maybe the bread oven or whatever that's called, just because these are smaller than the tracks that I have right now, and I kind of want something that's going to fit a little bit better. And then here is where a bit of a headache started, because I want inclines on both sides of the train station, and of course where I had my walls it wasn't going to work. So I will just let you guys watch me struggle with this for a bit, and then I will be back after the inclines are in. Around the train station, but we're gonna get simple panels and stuff out first, just to get spacing and stuff figured out. And I'm kind of glad I didn't just stick with that. But this is the point where I realized that everything from on the outside of the train station was going to have to move over a half tile, so that way the terraforming would go directly against the building, which was a little bit of an annoyance, but honestly it wasn't all that bad. It also fixed that little weird spacing that was in between the fence plant partition and the medieval building side down at the bottom of the map, which was nice. 'Cause, 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 'cause out. As you can see, I'm just adding the outline. I actually filled that in off camera. You'll kind of notice at the outro that I have already filled it in, and I was already working on placement for my next video with stuff I was going to put for that. And now we are going to, once I am done customizing these with my arrival, well, not my arrival and departure codes, I didn't make these, I will of course have them linked, but now we are going to start on the back of the building. And let me tell you, this part here was a pain in the butt. This was another, another ride on the struggle bus, but I eventually got it figured out. But I will let you guys watch, and I will be back. But they just ended up being a little bit too big, and honestly I may still go back in and try them now that I have taken the simple panels out. And of course, Sterling wanted to show me how to flex my muscles, which I do enough. It works. Sterling, thank you. We're going to grab out some of the spooky items to go ahead and start the inside of the train station as well. Of course, putting down more plate armor, trying the Valiant statues again. Of course, they don't end up working. And this is where I realized that I had my terraforming off by 1. Not like it really mattered, because of course I just put them back in the first place. I desperately wanted it to work. I thought it would have looked so cool, but you can't even see it, which is a bummer. But I will use that somewhere else. Tried so hard for those Valiant statues to be, like inside or part of the inside of the building, but it was not going to work out. I finally just decided to go with. Unfortunately, couldn't get any decorations in there. I did go back and try, some Plain Party Lights archways and everything, and it didn't work out, but that's okay. If I'm going to go back in with like some umbrella designs for vegetable baskets or anything like that, since this whole island is really supposed to be getting ready for like one giant harvest festival. Jury's still out on that one as well, but I do really like the spooky items. I think they add a nice touch, you know, kind of a little Halloween flair, even though this island is past Halloween. So that way I could actually see how everything looks, and I decided to go ahead and grab the cooking DIYs as well, just so that way I can do that, because I do want to actually have a lot of food items around this island, which I usually don't do. I usually just don't even worry about it, but I'm hoping to use them for this island. So get through all of that, and then we try the bird's eye. I fail, and then we try again, and there we go. And that's where I decide that I really like it, and that's what we are going to go with. And time to put everything away, and you know, get more stuff out, because why not? Why not? And we just put in this sides. With that, I believe we are finished.
Alright, you guys, that is going to be it from me for today. We have finished our entrance for our new iteration of Autumn. We're going to go ahead and take a little walk through, but I did just want to show you my flag. Ignore what you see to the right. I have started planning out my next build, just so that way I have room and I know where everything is actually going to go, just because that's going to be a big one. But here's my flag. I haven't decided if it's just a stand-in for now, but it works. It was from my first iteration of Autumn. It's not my code, it's somebody else's. I'll go ahead and link it down below. As you can see, I ended up with an orange airport, which I was very excited about. Now let's go ahead and take a walk up here. You can see we've got the plate armor and some of the pumpkin decorations. I have added scattered papers, and I don't remember if the leaf pals were in the pictures I took or not, but I did add the scattered papers with ticket price lists on them. I don't know if this code was necessarily for train tickets, but that's what we have. For now, I have a couple of plaza trains. I don't know if these are going to stay. I have some standee designs that I found for a train, so I'm still thinking about that. But of course we have our tunnels. This one doesn't go anywhere right now. The other two do go somewhere. Like I said, I was figuring all that out, but we're not going to look at that today. But I just wanted a really nice size train station. It's not subway, I'm thinking of Taze Crossing. But I kind of took some inspiration from her subway entrance build to put into a train station. So up here we've got our ticket windows, arrival departures, we've got what I'm assuming is the, platform numbers, there it is. This was just a design I found. I, of course, will have them linked below, but we've got our plate armor and our angled signpost leading to resident services. I do have, well, you'll get a sneak peek there, but I do have 2 inclines, one on either side. I'm going to use the brick inclines and potentially brick bridges. I don't know if I'm going to use any waterscaping just yet. I did go in and remove the simple panels with the black design that I had put back there to really make it look like it was more underground, just because I feel like it looks better like that, because then the medieval building signs get a little bit closer and the building actually feels a little bit more enclosed. I went back and forth on the back of it for a while, as you saw. This is where we landed. But I'm going to leave you guys with the final glamour beauty shots, and I will see you guys in the next video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you next time. And I hope you guys have a great weekend, and a great day. Love you to the moon and back. Bye!